The Inside Sleeve with Robbie Buck on RN.
Well, it's time now to welcome a couple of musicians from very different parts of the world, but who have come together through their love of music, but also through geography. Joe Pernice, originally from Massachusetts, who, back in about 91, formed the Scud Mountain Boys.
Maybe somewhere around 93.
Okay,
somewhere
early
around
90s.
Yeah, something like that.
And, of course, the Pernice brothers after that, and a couple of other outfits. And Norman Blake, from a very different part of the world, from Glasgow in Scotland, who once played in a band called the BMX Bandits, but is probably better known for his role over many years in the delightful indie pop group Teenage Fanclub. Hello, gents.
Hello.
Welcome along.
Hello.
Of course, it's geography that has brought you together because neither of you live in those two parts at all, but you now reside in where?
In Canada, Ontario.
And how did you meet?
Do you know, I can answer that actually. We met years ago, touring and our paths crossed. But last year I was in Norway recording an album. Myself and Robin Hitchcock were producing an album for a band called I Was a King. And they had asked Pat Berkery, who plays with Joe, played in Pernice Brothers, to play drums in that record. So I was chatting with Pat and he said, Joe lives in Toronto, you should give him a call. And then I think we kind of emailed the next day, and then when I got back from there, we sort of hooked up in town.
And of course, it's the age-old story of what brought you to Toronto in the first place.
We married in. We're not each other. We were taken. Unfortunately, we were both taken.
Yeah.
But my wife's Canadian, as is Norman's.
Yeah. Well, look, we're going to come back and have a bit of a talk because I'm interested about your own musical philosophies and backgrounds, but you've kindly brought your guitars in and you're going to play something for us. What would you like to play?
Well, we're going to play a song by the Go-Betweens. It's a song written by Grant McLennan from their last album. And we, Teenage Fanclub, toured the Go-Betweens. I think it was the last tour that they did outside of Australia before Grant passed away. So, and I really fell in love with the song, and Grant showed me how to play it. So hopefully we can do it justice. But it's a fantastic song. It's called Finding You.
Okay. Joe Pernice and Norman Blake playing live for you today.
What would you do if you turned round and saw me beside you? Not in a dream, but in a song. Would you float like a phantom, or would you sing along? Don't know where I'm going, don't know where it's flowing, but I know it's finding you. What would you do if you saw me driving by in a car? The quickest you'd ever seen me spin. Would you smile and wave, or would you bow and get in? Don't know where I'm going, don't know where it's flowing, but I know it's finding you. Then the lightning finds us, burns away our kindness. We can't find a place to hide. Come the rainy season, surrender to our treason. Can we even find our tears?
Joe Pernice and Norman Blake performing live for you in the studio, and a lovely Go-Betweens track from their final ever album together. And you've only played that once before publicly.
We did it last night for the first time, but and so, yeah. Well, like I say, it was that for me was a memorable tour. I won't labour the point, but I really thought Grant was a great guy, and it was a really great tour.
A sad loss to Australian music and also the world's music.
Absolutely,
his music and Robert's music loved so much. It does probably lead me to the point that I really wanted to get into with you two gents, and that is a little bit about your philosophy toward music, and particularly when it comes to pop music too, because you both are fans of pop music and include a lot of those forms in what you do. But I'm really interested about your philosophy when it comes to emotion within a pop format, because some people consider pop not a deep enough vessel for it to contain really strong emotional content.
As far as do I think that what you consider like classical pop forms, if they have the depth to kind of carry a real emotion? Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean listen to Dusty Springfield's, or singing back-rack tunes. I
was just going to say, the moment I wake up before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. That's brilliant. Just that line, that Hal David line, is fantastic.
Unbelievable.
So much in that.
And that's as pop as that stuff got, right? And I don't know. I think that I guess I respond to certain melodies. It's just how I'm wired, I believe. And I not skirting your question, I don't believe I have a philosophy, but I'm just trying to think about how I respond to music. And for me, it's a sequence. It's the sequence of notes. I mean, the melody, if it happens for me, it just happens. Yeah. And if you attach the right kind of lyric to it, you're golden.
Of course, people do say that there's been so much music produced, and even in the pop idiom over the last few decades, that the sequence of notes that is available to you, or even the subject matter that's available to you, does it become more limited over time?
John, I don't think it is, because you have to add to those two elements someone's individual personality and what they bring to it, and what a group of musicians working together brings to that. So a different group of people will create a different thing. So there's an infinite number of possibilities, and you will always hear new great melodies that you think, why have I never heard that melody before? Because there are 12 notes, but there's numerous variations in how they can be put together, and they add the other elements, and it's something completely unique.
And also, I think that what's key to think about is who the audience is. I don't mean when I write a song, I'm really not writing for any audience. I'm writing because I love the process, and then what you get when you're done, that's what you got. And you might say, or people who analyze it might say, music in general, that it's more limited and stuff. It doesn't have the same effect. Well, that's as much, I think, a product of where the listener is at in their life. Like when I think of bands that were, monumental to me, like things when music, which I love music, right? I do, but there was a time when, as a listener of music, it was like a life and death thing. Like it was my life, and I probably responded to music differently. I definitely responded differently as a listener then as I do now. So you have to take into account, you might find someone who's in that kind of point in their life when music is everything to them, and to say that melodies and lyrics are limited, they'd probably say you're out of your mind. It's maybe the product of a jaded listener saying that stuff doesn't have the same effect, or numbed over time.
So how do we change in terms of our response to music over time? I mean, there's a generalisation that when you're younger, you want things that are more aggressive and a little more brash and probably a little louder, that reflects perhaps your emotional status. And as you get older, we mellow, do we?
But yeah, I think there's a thing for musicians too, that in a way there's no magic. If you don't play an instrument, you go to a concert, then we see backstage, we know how it works, but there's something that in a way that we lose out on, in a way, like going to a concert, that we know what people are doing, and And I kind of missed that. I mean, when we were talking about the Clash outside earlier, just, and I saw the Clash. I was lucky enough to see the London Calling tour and the, Sandinista, give them enough rope before that. And those were magical events for me, and I don't have that when I go to a concert anymore. So I'm definitely jaded in that sense,
Did you ever notice when you were a kid, right? Did you ever go to a concert that might have even been a borderline train wreck and ever thought, oh, he just screwed up? They messed up the chord change, or the drummer dropped a beat. You never thought about that. And now I can't go to a concert without hearing that. And it doesn't necessarily ruin it for me by any means, because I'll drop a beat more than anybody in the business of music. But you just, as a musician, at least for me, you hear everything differently. It's hard to separate the...
Well, of course, one band that no doubt you look back on quite regularly is...
You can say the Smiths.
I am going to say the Smiths, because you wrote a lovely little book in the Continuum series, the 33 1/3 series, which is a great little series of almost novellas, but they're small books on particular albums. And for you chose Meat is Murder by the Smiths. And it was a very personal approach to your dissertation on that record, whereas a lot of other authors go into the technical aspects of it. For you, it was much more of an emotional response, wasn't it? And I wonder, looking back on that person that you were in that period in your life, how you view an album like that, for example.
You mean, how do I look at it now?
Yeah.
Well, it still does it for me, but I'm different. I'm not the same person in a way. I mean, I'll still listen to that record, once a month, maybe less, maybe more. And it's still amazing. I mean, I can't listen to the Headmaster Ritual without getting chills, right? Because it's just, to me, that's just like a near perfect song. And certainly a lot of but my book's a fiction too, right? So, it's not me, but, I made a character. Certainly a lot of it is from my life, but I've manipulated things. It's a fiction, and that's what you do. But no doubt was that record one of my favorite couple of records of my life. So, and when I think about when I was heavily into that record, when it just came out, it was in that time in my life when music was what kept me alive, really. Without being too dramatic about it. Yeah.
That is fairly dramatic.
Well, I mean, yeah. But now it's strange to say that now at this age, because, I'm so perfectly adjusted, as you can see.
And we all benefit from it, I think. Norman Blake from Teenage Fanclub, and Joe Pernice, one-time member of Scud Mountain Boys and Pernice Brothers.
Again, we've reformed after 14 years. Yeah, we just finished a record.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, the two of you, while you met in Canada, are actually recording an album under the name of the New Mendicants here in Australia, and we look forward to seeing the results of that. And I believe that you may even have one of those songs that you've written together to play.
Yeah. Which one do you want to do? That?
Yeah, totally. She's Gone.
We could do that. We could do
whatever you want, Joe. I can.
What about if we do Follow You Down? Can you do it as
your
voice? You want to just sing, or you want to?
Did we
bring a? You can tap your guitar.
Yeah, totally. Or did we have we don't have the Glock with us, do we?
No.
That's fine. No, I can just sing or whatever,
Is that cool?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You mind?
Happily do that. Yeah.
I just changed it at the last minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
Pulled the switcheroo on you. There's a tune that we submitted some songs to a film, and they all have to do with committing suicide. So this is I think the first one we did, really.
It was,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay. It's a tune called Follow You Down. You look so young on the ledge at the edge of December. As a teardrop stain your face like morning dew. Give me your hands, I swear I might love you forever.
or until my final breath bleeds with the blue. Ours are complicated lives. I won't let you be forgotten, so I'll follow you down to the bottom. I can't say what we might find when we step off together. But I promise I won't step off without you. Ours are complicated lives. I won't let you be forgotten, so I'll follow you down, follow you down, follow you down to the bottom.
Joe Pernice and Norman Blake playing live for you today here on the Inside Sleeve on RN, and that one under the name of the New Mendicants, which is the name of their new outfit together. What was it called again?
Follow You Down.
Follow You Down, which I'm sure we'll hear on a new record from them. Gentlemen, thank you ever so much for coming in today and performing for us.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Good evening.
And farewell.
And good luck.
And a great deal of good luck. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That was really great.
Cool.
Now, are you comfy with the Go-Betweens one?
RN, your world unfolding.